the Gulag archipelago, the reason he called it the archipelago, it's like a system of islands, you know, a system of islands that were spread out throughout the Soviet Union. Prison camps, labor camps, spread out. And these camps were like little towns, you know what I'm saying? They were some of them held thousands, tens of thousands of people, you know. So the Gulag prison systems was created in 1918 after the Soviet Revolution, and once once they took power and control after the revolution, they started the prison system to punish political prisoners, political enemies, right? It was created in 1918 and it peaked around the 1950s. There was 500 camps, labor camps, spread out throughout the entirety of the Soviet Union, which is tremendous landmass. And records show that there was over 20 million people incarcerated throughout that time period. Of course, many have said that the numbers could be higher than that, but that's the number that's a consensus. One in six adults in the Soviet Union had been to the camps or were deported, exiled out of the country. 1 in 6 adults during that time period. They would use the gulags for political opponents. They started off with the political opponents when they won the revolution. Now, we're not going to go into the history of the revolution, but where they wanted to take out the other parties or whatever, so they start, killing each other, wiping each other out, and they used the prison systems to get rid of people, But at the same time, they needed laborers to build, this paradise or whatever they were going to build, right? So they used prison laborers to help build their whatever. There were concentration camps. They were corrective labor re-education camps, they were called. You're not thinking correctly, you're not acting right, you don't, the groups, they started, with priests and professors and, of course, political enemies, but folks who they deemed could become a problem. So they would arrest them and throw them into the system, into the Gulag system, slave labor camps. And these camps were like, okay, go to jail like in downtown. No, you're in Siberia, you're in the woods. They had different camps in different areas that had certain resources. They had a camp for where they were digging for gold. They had a camp where they were chopping wood. They had a camp for coal. So they were spread out, and they would send people to these places. So the Gulag Archipelago, it's like a horrifying look into the depths that the state will go to keep and retain power over the people. It just shows the lengths that they will go, the lying and the cheating and the conniving, the forced labor and the forced confessions and the torture for confessions, and horrible. Like, it's heavy and but if we need to know these things about history, because these things occur. Those aren't the only examples. Now, Mussolini was a tyrant, but he didn't get a chance to build camps. But I'm sure he probably threw a lot of people in jail or whatever. But we know Hitler has, and we know Mao, and we know that these from the 20th century, we've seen these tyrants and what they do. There's always going to be a tyrant, a king, someone with power that punishes the enemy and uses them for labor and tortures them and enslaves them and imprisons them.